The first things we want to do with any firearm is to ensure that there's no ammunition in the work area. There's no ammunition in the weapon or the firearm. I'll give you an inventory of what I use. Just a simple Leatherman, a screwdriver for taking the screw out of the stock, a basic mallet, and a soft-sided drive punch to drive the barrel pin out. I'll show you what I use a paperclip for a little later. And I just have the magazines here for show. So the first thing I want to do with the firearm is, after I made sure it's clear, fire the weapon, push forward on the barrel latch, making sure that it's pointed in a safe direction. You want to grasp the bolt, pull it back, up and away. Once you get it back, you'll have the phenolic block, and I'll show you how this operates later, and the buffer spring. And also, the firing pin is hidden behind this block. So what I do is I use a paper clip, if you're going to tear it down that far, push the firing pin in, pull out the block, pull out the firing pin and the spring, and set them aside. One other thing you can do is, if you need to remove the bolt retaining latch, you use the firing pin or another device, push in and then slide it up, and it pops right out. That's just for cleaning, because as you know, the 7.62 by 25 Tokarev rounds are very, very corrosive. Now the next thing we want to do, this is just for me, is I'm going to go ahead and remove the barrel so that the rest of the system is manageable. And how I do that is I'll set that up on, if you're not worried about marring the finish, I'll set that up on something where I can just drive this out. And you want to drive that pin. That pin actually closes together, so it's like a spring. So just give it a couple taps, like that, and it's actually inside of another sleeve. And then depending on how tight your fit is for your weapon, like TNW's got a really well fit weapon, you pull that out, and then you just separate it. Okay? Now once this is separated, I'll show you how to take this apart. That pin actually holds your barrel in. So you can actually pull the barrel out and you scrub it pretty well, and you can use cleaning rods. Now when we put it back together, it's key that this flat part goes against the inside of the wall, and that cutout actually fits in the recess here, so that the pin, so you can see that locks it into place. Okay? And then the last little bit, take your screwdriver, and this is how we remove the trigger group. Move this out of your way. And again, TNW Firearms has made their tolerances pretty tight. So once you do that, you'll be able to remove the trigger group, fire it, pull it out, and there you have it. Okay, now reassembly is just the opposite. Go up under that groove, that cutout. You can make sure the hammer's back. Okay. There. And how we'll do that first is place the spring on the firing pin and keep it pointing in a safe direction. You can use a toothpick to actually get this out. Drop it in, and the key is to have those two rounded edges pointing away from you. So push down on it and drop it in. Okay, and then you can use whatever you want to compress the firing pin to slide it down. There we go. And that's it. Just check it to make sure it's going to stay in. Okay, and then you'll put the bolt lock latch back on. We'll get that out of the way. Okay. Alright. Then you'll slide this back to here. Okay, you want to make sure that this phenolic block is up and all the way back. Okay, it's important to have this all the way back. And the reason for it is when you set it in, it's all the way down inside and all the way back. Okay, because that lip right there has to be behind that bar. So that lip goes behind to the back side of this. And when you close it up, okay, if this is just a note, if this is locked in, you won't be able to close the top. See, you won't be able to close it. So the catch has to be out. And there you go. Once it's together, and check the safety. There you go. And that's disassembly and reassembly of the TNW Firearms PPSh-41 semi-automatic. Thank you very much.